Hey guys, so today I'm going to be sharing my debt-free story or my budget story or however you want to call it. My story with money, how I am where I am today when it comes to money. And so growing up, we talked about money. Money was, talked about. It wasn't made a huge deal. My parents put my sister and I through Dave Ramsey's financial coaching, but debt was also just had to be a part of life for my family. Or they had debt and we had to take out student loans to go to college and all of that stuff. I mean, it was just car payments and stuff like that. It was just kind of a part of our lives growing up. So then when I decided to drop out of the college that I was attending with my sister, and I made some pretty bad life choices, but we're just not going to discuss that. That's a whole different video for a whole different day. But my finances, I was poor, like really poor. Like I couldn't get into debt because I had no money. I was 18 years old, living off of, two people were living off of $1 general salary. And let me tell you, it's not that much. So then it kind of went up, and my spending obviously increased as the money started coming in, but I was still fairly good with it. Didn't really get into any debt until I moved. That relationship I was in ended and I moved back home. That obviously came with expenses. I had to get a car. I went back to school to get my degree. Just expenses happened to where I had to get into, or I chose to get into debt. So then, as a single person, and I was living on my own, and I was doing fairly well money-wise. I had a car payment and I had school, but I didn't have any consumer debt. Then I decided to move back into my parents' house to save money. Well, instead of saving, I spent money, a lot of it, racked up not a lot, but a pretty big credit card debt, and then I paid off my car, so that was good, but I still had my student loans, and then credit card debt, and then I decided to take out a personal loan because I had two dogs and I wanted my parents to have a fenced-in yard, and then I wanted to convert their back room that used to be a garage into a little mini apartment for me. So I decided to take out a personal loan to make that happen. Now, my parents did help me pay that back. I wasn't fully responsible for that since it did help, obviously, their equity in their house, and helped, obviously more people use that than just me now, especially since I'm not even there. But looking back, I wish I had been a little bit more patient, because if I had just waited a couple months, I would have I met Jared, and then I moved here, and just things happened to where that was not the wisest financial decision for me. So I ended up with about right around this is probably a little high, but let's just say $40,000 in debt between credit cards, student loan, and the personal loan. Between all those, I was in about $40,000 of debt. And then I met Jared, and Jared had no debt. He's also from a very good family as well. His family were in probably a better financial situation than my family. They paid for him to go to college. He didn't have to take out any student loans. They paid for his truck. He didn't have to worry about a truck or car payment. So, I mean, he did have a little bit of an easier time in that way, but Jared is a huge saver. I mean, he is just a huge saver. I am the spender, he is the saver. And so that helped him a lot, because he would work. I mean, he wasn't lazy, he worked, and but he just saved all his money because he didn't have any living expenses, because he lived with his parents. They pretty much took care of, all his expenses for him. And he wouldn't go out and blow his money like I did. So he would save all his money and I would spend it. So when we got together, we had the financial talk. I had already, prior to meeting him, I knew I wanted to get in a relationship, and I knew what I wanted out of a relationship, and I knew I wanted to come to the table more financially responsible than I had been in the past. So I had already started working on my finances, and then I met him, and I was terrified to tell him how much debt I had and what it was and all that stuff. But we had that talk. We did not combine finances, or he did not help me with my debt until we got engaged. And then when we got engaged, we got engaged in May, and I moved here in November, and so we combined finances when I moved down here. He did buy me a car because my car broke down, and he did not, we agreed that I did not want him to do this because I'm just so independent, but I would have had to go buy a car and have a car payment because I did not have enough in my bank account because I was so busy tackling debt that I left my bank account pretty bare. And he said, since we were about to combine finances, he's like, I'd rather just buy you a car outright than, that car payment is eventually going to be my car payment. And so, yes, he did buy me a car. And then in November, we combined finances and we tackled my debt. So from about, I would say October of 2017 to, I think, June of 2018, I really, and then Jared helped as well, really and we had a wedding in there. We got married in May of 2019, which we paid for a portion of that. His parents helped a lot. My parents helped a little bit too, but we also spent, some of our money as well. So we also had a wedding thrown in there as well. But throughout that whole time, we were tackling my debt, and we became debt free, and now we are working on our mortgage. So I think my biggest problem is I am a impulse spender. I'll go weeks without buying anything, but then something triggers me, or I don't know what happens honestly, but I don't know. I just get in a mood, and it's like I'll buy everything I've ever wanted, even the things I don't want. I'll see and I'll be like, oh, I want that, and I'll put it in my cart and I'll spend money on it, and I won't even look at the price tag. Food is a big thing for me. If you've watched any of my other videos, you already know this. I struggle with food a lot, like just snacks. I like going through drive-thrus. I like, gas station soft drinks and snacks and food. I struggle with spending money on food. I don't really like eating what I make. Even though I do enjoy making food, I just don't enjoy eating the food I make. So that I've struggled with that a lot throughout my whole adulthood, and again, just the compulsive spending, the impulse spending. I used to watch a lot of beauty makeup videos, and I got really into that. I touched on that in my 2020 goals. I could make a whole different video about that. But so I spent a ton on makeup. I would spend a ton on clothes that I didn't end up wearing. Just a lot of needless spending, and it was always to, I think, try to, I don't know, I could go all deep and psychological, but it was just something I did. And now I have goals that I want to hit that's so much more important than what I'm wearing or what I'm wearing on my face, or if I have the next top foundation or whatever. But anyways, I wanted to keep this video short and sweet. I'm a spender. I'm still a spender. I still struggle every day, especially with the food part. I'm struggling, but I am getting better, and I'm not spending as much money as I used to. Jared has really helped me with that, obviously, as he's the saver. He's been really good for me. I'm very, very blessed to have Jared in my life, but I still struggle. I still struggle every day to not spend wasteful money. But spending is good, and you have to have that balance. And that's what I'm trying to learn, the balance in between, you have to spend something and you've got to be happy, and, to deny yourself everything isn't good, but also to just buy is not good either. So there is that balance that I am trying to find, and I hope you join me in my journey of finding it. So I hope you all have a wonderful evening or day whenever you're watching this. Please make sure you subscribe and hit that like button to go along all these different journeys I am taking in 2020. Thank you. Have a good night. Bye.